All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're bringing you a comprehensive explainer on a vehicle that is literally shaking up the compact SUV market, and that is the heavily updated 2027 Jeep Avenger. Whether you're navigating super tight city streets or heading completely off the beaten path, Jeep is making some genuinely fascinating strategic moves with this model. We're going to break the whole shebang down for you. So let's dive into this explainer and see exactly what makes the 2027 Avenger tick. Now, to really wrap your head around why this update matters so much, you first have to grasp the sheer scale of this vehicle's success. Jeep has already racked up a staggering 270,000 orders for the Avenger in Europe since it first launched. I mean, it's crowned itself as the best-selling SUV in Italy and has become an absolute juggernaut in the highly competitive European B-SUV segment. This isn't just some niche vehicle, right? It's a mainstream hit that is driving Jeep's presence forward in a massive, massive way. Here's our roadmap for today's explainer: Jeep's compact European hit, fresh design and tech, the power of choice, true off-road DNA, and finally, exclusive special editions. Starting with Section 1, Jeep's compact European hit, where urban agility meets the wild. You know, what's amazing is how the Avenger's customer base is already totally embracing the future. Out of those 270,000 total orders, a whopping 60% are electrified models, meaning either hybrid or fully electric. That leaves 40% for the traditional powertrains. What's super fascinating here is how the Avenger has managed to capture this wonderfully balanced demographic. It's appealing heavily to female buyers and drivers under 40, all while completely retaining their traditional middle-aged male customers. It's a vehicle that clearly resonates across the board. Moving right along to Section 2, fresh design and tech and how it creates a modern Jeep identity. So this 2027 facelift, it's really not just about tweaking some lines on the body. It is a very sensory and functional update. Take that iconic 7-slot grille. It now comes with LED retro illumination on the higher trims, giving it a totally distinct, modern nighttime signature. Jeep also integrated matrix LED headlights, which are just fantastic for reducing eye fatigue and automatically adapting to traffic. And if you're parking in a cramped European city, the new 360-degree camera system with its top-down view is an absolute game changer. Inside, they've elevated the cabin with significantly softer door materials and padded inserts. Oh, and for the hardcore enthusiasts, there's a brilliant little Easter egg. The wheel center caps now feature a stylized profile sketch of the original Willys Jeep. But you know, Jeep's philosophy has always been designed to function, and they absolutely nailed that here. It isn't just about looking rugged, it's about actual real-world protection. The headlamps are encased and set back slightly into the bodywork, and the skid plates are molded in color. Why does this actually matter? Well, whether you take a minor bump from a rogue shopping cart in a crowded parking lot or scrape a rock on a rough gravel trail, these elements protect the way more expensive components of the car from damage. It's practical 360-degree protection. Section 3, the power of choice, focusing on powertrain flexibility. Now, this is arguably the most significant aspect of the 2027 update. Jeep is letting the consumer's lifestyle dictate what goes under the hood. They are totally pushing back against a one-size-fits-all approach. If you're on a budget or you just love rowing your own gears, the gas turbo 100 with a manual transmission is your entry point. Need a bit more efficiency in an automatic? The 110 horsepower e-hybrid steps right in. Now, if you need serious traction in all-wheel drive, the brand new 145 horsepower 4X e-hybrid uses dual electric motors. And finally, for that silent, zero-emissions driving experience, you have the 156 horsepower full EV. You literally just choose based on exactly how you live and drive. And actually, Jeep didn't just toss an old gas engine in there to keep the base price low. They've heavily engineered it. The new 1.2-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder features a timing chain instead of a belt, plus a robust new engine block and new piston heads. For the traditional gas buyer, this translates directly to peace of mind and much lower running costs. In fact, this superior durability means the maintenance schedule is slashed down to just one service every 2 years or 25,000 kilometers. If we zoom in on the fully electric model, the specs are honestly super competitive for its class. It uses a 54 kilowatt-hour battery, with 51 of that being usable, which yields a very respectable WLTP range of 400 kilometers, or about 248 miles. When you're out on a long trip, the 100 kilowatt DC fast charging can take you from 20 to 80% in roughly 27 minutes. But here's one really important detail to note, especially for buyers in colder climates. The heat pump, which was previously standard, is now an optional extra. So if you want to maximize that winter range, it's definitely an upgrade you're going to want to select. Moving to Section 4, true off-road DNA. Because despite its size, it is built to clear obstacles. The Avenger might be compact, but Jeep insists it is definitely no soft roader. Just look at the geometry. These are the specs that actually dictate off-road capability. With up to 210 millimeters of ground clearance, a 22-degree approach angle, a 21-degree breakover, and an incredibly impressive 35-degree departure angle, the Avenger is built to tackle the rough stuff. Those super short front and rear overhangs mean you can point the nose up a steep incline or drop off a ledge without completely scraping up your bumpers or the underbody. Okay, wrap your mind around this massive number for a second, 1900. If you opt for the all-wheel drive 4E hybrid version, its rear axle features a 22.7-to-1 reducer. That's a specialized gear setup that multiplies torque. Because of this mechanical setup, the rear electric motor can generate an astonishing 1900 newton-meters of torque directly at the rear wheels. That is an absolute flex of off-road muscle. It pretty much guarantees you have the grunt to push through deep mud or crawl up steep, slippery inclines. Building on all that power, the 4AE boasts heavy-duty specs that seem almost contradictory to how well it fits in a city. I mean, it can safely ford 400 millimeters of water and climb 40% slopes on loose gravel. Crucially, the 4AE gets an exclusive multi-link rear suspension, a feature that's usually reserved for much larger vehicles, which drastically improves axle articulation on those rough trails. You also get Jeep's Selec-Terrain system, letting you dial in specific traction modes for snow, sand, mud, or sport. And because things are absolutely going to get dirty, the 4AE interior features this highly durable, waterproof, and fully washable green-colored trim. Finally, Section 5, Exclusive Special Editions, adding some highly distinct personality. Jeep is catering to two completely different vibes here to cap off the lineup. First up, we have the 85th Anniversary Edition. This one leans heavily into Jeep's incredible heritage. It features these beautiful bronze and gold finishes on the wheels, special fender logos, and inside it boasts a really unique tartan-inspired upholstery with gold stitching right across the dash. It feels rich, adventurous, and classic. Then there's the North Face Edition, born from a collaboration with the legendary outdoor brand. This trim completely swaps the heritage feel for a rugged, modern expedition vibe. It uses the North Face's signature Summit Gold color for the accents, features these cool topographic lines on the dashboard, and honestly, this is amazing. The seats are styled directly after the North Face puffer jackets, complete with elastic straps on the back to hold your gear. Now check out this tasteful little Easter egg on the North Face Edition. Right on the dashboard, just below a silhouette of a mountain, is the inscription 1 of 4,806. So why that specific number? Well, it perfectly matches the height of Mont Blanc in Europe, measured in meters. Jeep is strictly limiting production to this exact number, which makes it highly collectible. They even throw in an exclusive welcome kit with a branded tent, a duffel bag, and a water bottle. So, that brings us to our final thought. As the entire automotive industry sprints headlong toward an electric-only future, Jeep has consciously chosen to broaden the 2027 Avengers lineup to include traditional gas, mild hybrid, plug-in all-wheel drive, and full electric options. They are literally letting you, the consumer, decide. Is this freedom of choice the smartest, most pragmatic move in today's transitioning market? It for sure ensures there is an Avenger for every single budget, climate, and lifestyle out there. Something to think about, right? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep exploring.